Hi and welcome to this video. Today we're gonna design a mini version of Porsche Macan. So let's go. First of all, I start in the upper corner of an A4 paper. I start with a small sketch because later on I'm planning to sketch as well a rear view and a front view. And this will be like 3/4 front side view. First, I block in a rough proportion of the vehicle. I do the outline, the section line, a bit of interior, the front area, a bit of graphic in the front. I do the lamps, the wheels, the spokes, and the lower part of the car. A little bit of shading and showing the shape of the car. The lower intake, a couple of mirrors, and of course the front light, which are quite important for the vehicle. Later on, I put more shading on the wheels and behind the spokes. Focus on the front because the front area of the vehicle is more closer to us and it's more important to show it. Further on, I try to add more details, especially on the front. I put more shading on the side and we can do a darker interior to show that it's also dark inside the car. I do a quick precise outline of the vehicle and finish off that view. So the next sketch will be the rear view of that vehicle. I try to match up the proportions and also the wheelbase. I do a rough outline again and start to knock in basic shapes and graphics of that car. Overall, I finished with the general proportions and design, so now I'm going into the detail of it. I indicate kind of exhaust at the back, but then I decide against it. I make an indication of the section line on the side and at the rear of the car to show the volume, how they sit on the proportions of this sketch. Now I'm developing the rear light. To provide the visual relationship between front and the rear, I add the air intakes at the back where the rear lamp already is there. I add more shading to show the surfacing of the car. Further on, I make an indication of the interior and put a bit darker shading to show that it's dark inside the car. A bit more precision on the graphics, on the details, like the wheels and the rear lights. Now I start to put more pressure on the pen to make a nice definition on the outline and graphics, additional shading to finalize the sketch. Usually I don't use an eraser because it can make a sketch very dirty and less attractive. That's why I use this technique that I start with a very soft indication and later on I put more pressure on the pen or pencil and go more into the detail to finish off the car. I add some lettering at the back of the car between the rear lamp and the rear glass. It adds additional detail and is instant recognizable as Porsche. Now I start a third sketch and it will be a front view of the same vehicle. But compared to the first one, in this view, the front is turned more towards the viewer. I try to show more details on the front. I add the shoulder volume, the bonnet, the lower splitter and the front lights with intakes. Further on, I add the section line on the front and I indicate some spokes in the LED. In the next step, I add some details to the front lamps. Now I start to add shading. Now the overall proportions, shading and the surfaces are ready and I start to increase the contrast, especially on the front, like the front intakes, the front lights and the lower intake with the bumper. I add shadow underneath the car and also in the intake. Some fog lights, additional shading, the badge, and this is it. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.